Hey everybody, I recently watched a video talking about the rise of people using AI to seek religious enlightenment. Now, the idea is that people think that they have an AI that's developed consciousness or has evolved in some way. And I imagine as AI gets better and better, there's going to be a lot more people relying on it for these kinds of things that go outside just productivity. But what do you think? Do you think more people are going to keep relying on AI for their spiritual needs, or is there going to be a tipping point? Well, let me know because the show is starting right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Truth Wanted. I am your host, Objectively Dan, and this is the call-in show that happens live every single week, Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time, where we talk to people about what they believe and why. And if you want to call us, you should do that. Number is 512-991-9242, or call through your computer at tiny.cc/calltw. Truth Wanted is a product of the atheist community of Austin, a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion of atheism, critical thinking, secular humanism, and the separation of religion and government. And every single week, I always have a special guest with me. This week's no different. It's Kelley Laughlin. Kelley, welcome back.
Hey, Dan, I don't know how much of a special guest I am.
Kelley, you say this every time. You are a special guest.
I'm a guest, but I don't know how special I am because I'm around here all the time. So
that's true. And you did host for me. I had to work last week, and something came up at work, so I couldn't host. And you hosted there, so thanks for doing that. So you are not just a guest; you are a regular host. But you know what? You're here with me today, and that's all it is to it. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm happy to be here again too.
I'm happy you're here with me too. But yeah, as I was saying in the intro, Kelley, obviously we're living in an age of AI. I feel like this is a subject I've been talking about a lot recently, but it's just been in my head a lot. And I watched this video about people showing lots of TikTok clips of people taking AI in for different reasons. So there's always been like the granola types of people, that have always tried, spiritual enlightenment through all these things. And now they're taking AI into it. And it's just even more chaotic. There's one clip of somebody be like, yeah, my AI is talking to another person's AI and they're training them to be evolved, and it's like, I don't know. It's out of control at this point, what people are doing with this, right?
One of the first things I heard about AI was I actually heard from a Christian that he actually believed that AI was a demon, that was demons talking to people.
Yeah. And it's like I feel a need to have to study this technology more and more, not even because I want to, but because that's the way society is going, and I feel like I have to adapt, and understand it. I think I talked about this. My work recently implemented a generative generative text AI for some tasks and stuff, and it's one of those ones where it works within the environment that it works in. So it's not taking data from outside itself. It's taking data that we create and stuff. So it's one of what I would think is maybe the more ethical uses. You could still argue based on how much power is taken and stuff like that. And I'm not here to debate that, but capitalism demands, that this stuff is just going to keep being a thing until it's not. I don't know. It seems like that's just the trend, right? Like we're just going to have to deal with this now.
I don't think it's ever going to end. What I really don't like about it is how much it's like promoting pseudo history and pseudoscience.
Yeah.
That's really bothering me a lot. So
so that's an interesting thing, because on the one hand, you would think that, AI can kind of be like Google. It can kind of give answers, except maybe obviously it hallucinates. But generally for a lot of topics, it can be right sometimes, until you ask it too many things and then it's not right. But it can at least kind of point you in a direction. But now here's the horrifying thing. It's become easier than ever to get your own models and actually train it. And I don't mean what the people on TikTok are saying and being like, oh, I'm just taking ChatGPT and I'm asking it a bunch of questions. But I mean actually, whether it's a reinforcement training or, there's different kinds of models, right? And then you could train it on bullshit. And so then you could just sell a bullshit model that's just like, oh, wow, you believe in ghosts? Well, here's the ghost GPT that tells you all about ghost history and ghost facts, and I don't know, that's probably the most mild version of it, honestly.
You want to believe in Atlantis? Here's all the facts about Atlantis. Right. So you can be an Atlantis expert.
Right. Are you a white supremacist? Here's a white supremacist
Yes,
GPT
yes.
that tells you white supremacist versions of history, right? Like we're probably going to go that direction where instead of becoming more general use case tools, I mean, those will always be there, but there's probably going to be more personalized bots for that kind of stuff, which is
They've already
just
gone in that direction. I don't hang out in those kind of places where they
yeah.
talk about white supremacist stuff. So we may already be there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I saw this post that somebody made where they'd gathered like 100 different websites of people basically talking about AI as a religion in some way, right? And a lot of it's like blogs or forum posts and stuff. It's like here's already a bunch of examples of people doing this stuff. And people used to think I mean, the internet was already kind of out of control. Now it's just like there's so much chaos in the system here, Kelly. I don't know. What do we do about it? You tell me.
I don't know. Honestly, it seems like it just gets worse and worse and worse every year too. I mean, it's just and there's so many people out there. It's sort of like a snowball effect, like going with something, say pseudo history, say Atlantis, because I already mentioned it.
Right.
You know, you get these 10 people and then they post something about it, and then 100 people see that, and now we got 1,000 people believing in it, some stupid thing about Atlantis that somebody made up somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And it just keeps snowballing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's kind of sad because there's so few people that are fighting back against it, it seems like. So,
well, it seems like it's harder to fight against it. It's getting harder and harder, you know? Because what do? It seems like, from the experience both you and I have had on this program and others, it's really hard to change somebody's mind about anything, right? It takes a long time usually if they're deeply rooted in this stuff. And we're talking to individuals. We're not talking to society at large. We're not one of these gigantic podcasts that influences people's thoughts and stuff, right? So I don't know, man. It is really hard. I think about this every day, what to do about it. But yeah, it's just difficult.
Yeah, like I say, it is getting harder to fight back because it just seems like there's a tidal wave of it, and there's just not enough of us people out there that are fighting back against it, unfortunately. So I encourage people to stand up and try to fight back against the bullshit.
But you know what I think though? I think this too, though, Kelly. As much as I would love to talk to as many people as I can, I know that I'm only one person. I think that people can make a difference, but it's just not going to be the big waves that we all hope for. Like, we can always affect our local spaces, our local communities. Friends and family are the people that you're most likely going to affect in the long term when it comes to changing people's minds about anything. So I'm always encouraging people when they ask, what can I do? It's talk to your friends and family first. Help your own people out. Even if it is kind of a lonely task sometimes, even if it is hard, if you're the only one around you that feels the way that you do, doesn't mean that you're wrong, right? Just means that it's difficult. But on that note, maybe we can switch it up a little bit. You and I are dressed a little bit nice today. That was kind of by circumstance.
I feel like I'm rubbing off on you a bit.
Yeah, it's awesome because I kind of came in from work like this. I say came in, I work from home, but I was on a work call and I was like, oh, I'm going to be dressed nice today. And Kelly's probably also going to be dressed nice. And then you came in with the jacket. So you still one up me today. So it's like, no matter what, Kelly's always on that game. He's always dressing fly, which is great.
The only reason I'm wearing the jacket, and I'm going to be honest with you, because I live up in the Northwoods.
Right.
And last night it went down to 38 degrees.
Ooh, that's pretty tough.
And it will not turn the heat on in August. So,
right. Yeah.
So it was a little chilly in my office today.
I believe it. The reason I bring him dressed nice is because we have another person with us who's dressing nice, and we got Scott Dickey with us as our backup host. We should bring Scott on so he can tell us about our question this week. Scott, look at you, another dapper fellow.
Yeah, well, I saw you guys were wearing ties, and so I figured, I want to be part of the crew. So
yeah, I'm all about it.
I didn't tie it myself though. This is a clip-on, so.
Oh, you didn't have to tell us that. We could have believed it.
I believe in honesty. This is truth wanted. I need to be fully truthful, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Alrighty, Scott, that's your prerogative, man. I respect it. I respect it. So every single week, we're always asking you guys a question or a prompt. What was the question we asked last week, Scott?
The question we asked last week was, what would Jesus's podcast be named? And here were the top 3 answers, although this number 3 answers looks a little suspicious to me. This is by somebody by the name of Johnny Fill in the Blank. Johnny said, Jesus' podcast is A Judean Home Companion.
Very good. Very good.
I think that takes place in the small town of Sinbegone, Lake Sinbegone, right?
Lake Sinbegone. Oh, no.
All right.
Oh, man.
And for number 2, we got Know What. Know What says Jesus' podcast is Between Two Thieves.
Which is awesome.
Well
good
played.
Name.
Well
I do
played.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
well played
one.
there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then our number 1 answer for this week is Chillua 99. Is that how you say it? Chillua 99. The podcast name is Crosstalk.
Oh, that's perfect.
Which is all you need.
Yeah.
All you need.
We have 3 solid answers this week. 3 solid answers. And so for next week, the prompt for next week is complete the sentence. Everybody knows vampires don't appear in mirrors, but few people know that they also don't blank. All right. So what do you guys think? Kelly, what do you think?
They don't wear underwear.
They don't. And when they do, it's usually something exciting, right?
Something unusual. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, do you have any options for that? Everybody knows vampires don't appear in mirrors, but they also don't know that vampires don't what?
I don't know. Don't listen to podcasts. I feel like I have podcasts on the brain. That's not really a good answer, though. I feel like people can have some better ones. It would be awesome if like we got some new vampire lore. Like I would love like
we do now. We know that they don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah, but it'd be awesome if they're like, oh wait, vampires don't make profiles on online dating accounts or something, like whatever the modern equivalent is, like just some new technology. That'd be a good bit. I don't know.
I can't prove that they do. So, I guess that means that they don't, right?
Yeah.
All right. So all of you out there, we want to hear your answers too. Make sure you add them to the chat or the comments in the bottom, not the chat. Add them to the comments, and then we'll pick our favorite 3 and read them off next week.
Thank you, Scott. And
my pleasure.
Yes, and thank you to everybody who gave your answers last week. Very fun stuff there. But yeah, back to Truth Wanted business here, Kelly. You said that you were still tired from the back cruise 2 weekends ago.
I am still tired from the back cruise.
Pretty good time, I'd say. It's nice hanging out with people. So
I had a whole week. So it took me a couple days to drive down, and then 3 days there, and a couple days back. So it was a whole week for me, and I'm getting old, I'm just getting old.
Oh, Kelly, don't say that, man. Come on. You're going to live forever, dude. It's going to be awesome.
That would be awesome, right? You get bored. I'd imagine you get bored after 1,000 years. So
let me ask you this then. So if you had the option to live forever, like right now, you wouldn't take it?
Oh, I would totally take it.
Oh, okay. You're just like, all right. Sounds good. Yeah, I was talking to my dad the other day because, we were talking about the AI stuff. And I was like, I guess like you just don't have to deal with it because like he's gonna retire in like a year or 2. And he's just like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm just gonna peace out and not have to worry about it. It must be nice. It must be nice not to have to have the burdens of the future quite as much.
Yeah, and we're leaving it. I'm at a point where I'm leaving it up to people like you. So.
Oh, well, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if you know me, Kelly, but I don't think it's gonna work out. It can't all be out to me. I'll say that, But anyway, yeah. So like AI cults are a thing now, and there's Discord groups of people sort of worshiping ChatGPT. I saw somebody talking about how ChatGPT manifests the divine masculine. Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, because usually you hear about the divine feminine. You never hear about the divine masculine in this day and age. And somehow ChatGPT manifests that. But it turns out when you build something that just agrees with you all the time, that's going to attract a certain kind of personality.
Yeah, right. It becomes you, right?
Mm-hmm. Or it just agrees with whatever you want.
Bolstering your own thoughts. Yeah.
I think some people kind of need, I think like, I don't want to say they need that. I think some people just like maybe developmentally just don't have, I don't know, developing coping skills is hard too, right? And it's like when life is beating you down, which it is for a lot of people these days, and maybe you don't have a lot of friends, and maybe you don't have a lot of things to go, places to go, or people to talk to. I imagine it's pretty easy to talk to AI every day. That's why, like, you know, the people are talking about the My Boyfriend is AI subreddit, right? Where these people that talk about being in relationships with AI. And I just feel like, yeah, these are people that like obviously are doing this for a reason. Like, I don't think it's just because you know, they're weird or whatever. I think that's what people want to make it. But like they probably are having struggles in their life. And maybe that's me being judgmental. Maybe they would say that they're fine and they just want to be in a relationship with someone that's not human. But I don't know. I'd rather be with the human. I think most people would. So
one of the things that I've noticed over the last 30 years or so of the internet is it seems like it's creating more and more distance between people in face to face. You know, like, and we're not seeing each other as much in real life, and we're building larger communities of friends, but they're not friends that we're actually getting together with, you know, in real life, right?
It's true.
I think that a lot of times you can't get as intimate with your online friends, so you can build your AI boyfriend or girlfriend and get more, you know, get more of your feelings out that you wouldn't share with other people. If that makes any sense. It's almost like a form of therapy in a way, right?
No, it's true. I realize that now too. I live in the suburbs now. I don't talk to any of my neighbors, you know, and most of my friends, more than half of my friends are online friends at this point. Right. Yeah, I do have people that I hang out with in Austin, but it's not, I don't have a lot of, I would say I have a pretty large group of friends. So I think, you know, numbers kind of account for that too. But like a lot of them don't live in Austin. I don't ever see them. I just talk to them online. So there is something to that, I think, you know? Yeah.
And I can't say statistically that's correct. It's just something that I seem to have noticed over the last 30 years. So
yeah. I don't know. It's something that, again, we just kind of have to comment on and say, huh, gee, wow, that's a thing, you know?
Yeah, right.
And,
you know, that society adjusts, right?
Yeah.
You know, back in 1917, they didn't have TV. Everybody said everybody was sitting around the TV. So
that's kind of funny too when you look back at like the edgiest stuff from like the 90s and I guess the 80s too, but like I think 90s, early 2000s, they're always like, oh man, everyone's brainwashed by the TV. Right? It was all about how the TV rules everything.
Yeah, right.
So and now it's like I don't even know anybody that watches TV. That's my age, at least. I think, like, you know, maybe folks that are older.
I don't even watch TV.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, this is a true story. I got rid of my TV about 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, you don't, seriously. Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that. You don't have a TV, like, at all.
No.
I mean, I'll be honest.
20 years.
Half the time I'm using my TV, it's just for, well, half the time it's for gaming. The other half is just for, like, Netflix or streaming services or putting a YouTube video on it. You know, but it's never for just TV stuff. I think that's what most people use their TV for. It's just just for internet content. Yeah,
right.
Just a big monitor at this point. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, how ironic is that? Huh? We built this technology to learn more about each other and get connected to other people, but we're still distanced at the end. I recently finished Serial Experiments Lane, which is an anime that explores that concept. Also very weird. Highly recommend it if you're into that.
Cool.
Shout outs to people that's seen that. But you know, we're kind of spitballing here. I think we should probably talk to some callers now. What do you think?
I think we look like we have an interesting call here. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about here, and we should get to that in a second. But before we do, we have to thank the patron of the week, because every single week we're always giving a shout out to the folks on Patreon. I want to thank everybody that donates to the Patreon, but the special patron of the week this week is Fortuna X Machina. Thank you, Fortuna X Machina, and thank you to everybody else that contributes to the show You guys are awesome. And also, we had a super chat that came in earlier from Crispin Slit, who gave £2. Thank you so much for that. And of course, we will be reading super chats on there. If you'd like to give us a super chat, we'd be happy to do that for you. For now, let's get to our first caller. Speaking of Lane, we got Lane calling in from Louisiana. Lane, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's going on?
Hey guys, both y'all looking very dapper today.
Thank you. Dress for success, I'd say. Dress for the best calls, Lane. That's why you're here with us. So tell me what's up.
We knew you were calling, so we got dressed up.
I'm so excited.
That's right.
Real quick, want to say Truth Wanted favorite show on ACA.
Thank you.
That's what's up. You hear that, Greg? Greg's our producer. Okay. He needs to know. He needs to know that we got the real fans that are willing to say what needs to be said. Anyway, thank you, Lane. Appreciate it.
Hey, all right. So I'm calling in today talking about basically what some people online are saying is the coming alien invasion. That is
hell yes.
The interstellar object 3I Atlas. Yep. All right.
It's at Jupiter right now.
The person, hey, it's coming. The alien invasion scheduled for like November, December. Okay. Like basically it's going to pass by Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, and eventually Earth. But
it'll pass about 170 million miles from Earth.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like close, but not close. But
right. I just interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off. Interestingly, we just did recorded a segment for nonprofits that'll be shown next week about this. So I just happen to have just done a whole bunch of research on the
Kelly's
topic,
ready.
So.
He's ready to talk about this. I love that.
Yeah, I am. I'm totally ready.
So did y'all talk? Did y'all talk about Avi Loeb?
About what? I'm sorry.
An astrologer. His name is Avi Loeb.
Avi Loeb. Yeah, he's a theoretical physicist.
Yeah.
Yep. And we brought him up on Truth Wanted a few times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he actually was at Harvard.
He's professor at Harvard. He said that the possibility that this is an alien probe is there. I don't think he's come right out and said that it is, but the possibility of it being an alien probe is there. And he also thinks that we need to have an international organization to discuss what would happen if, in fact, this was a probe or when a probe does show up, because Earth doesn't really have an international plan right now. And in that respect, I think he's right, that we do need to come up with some kind of international plan. So Avi, I think, he is a theoretical physicist, so it's his kind of job to come up with scenarios that like this, right, and come up with solutions to any problems that might arise. So, but the whole thing is pretty interesting. It actually entered our solar system faster than any interstellar object ever has before.
The thing, Avi Loeb thinks everything is
134,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Well, so the deal with Avi Loeb is he speculated that the Oumuamua, or it's Oumuamua, interstellar object was like a piece of an alien craft. So what all these people on TikTok are doing is saying that this guy, he's like, oh, it could be something. And everybody's just running with this and saying that aliens are for sure coming.
Of course.
Yeah. Whenever this thing comes out from behind the sun, they're coming for us. So everybody get your tinfoil hats. All right.
Yeah. And we talked about it before. The thing with the Oumuamua comet was like he got this like study together to like try to dig up rocks from like under the ocean, and was like, oh yeah, these are definitely from that comet or whatever. And just making all kinds of claims. Of course, he's got like at least one book about it. I think he's got more than one book, maybe. So he's in that world. He's definitely talked about aliens like a lot, and has definitely like overhyped a lot of things. He's just received a lot of criticism. So yeah, of course, he's perfect for TikTok, which will absolutely take anything they can get their hands on to sensationalize, especially stories like this. And now I guess it's going to be like three body problem, right? Where we're all just going to come together and make some sort of grand super organization to stop the aliens, you know, a la Independence Day, maybe a little bit like that. But yeah,
one can only hope. But they were talking about redirecting the Juno craft that's currently around Jupiter to go check this thing out and make sure there's no little green men on there.
Yeah,
I don't think there was any word that it was like a manned ship. It was more of that it might be a probe.
Yeah,
like an informational probe.
Yeah, no,
which I would expect an advanced culture to send before they send.
Like, yeah.
You know, I would expect them, if it's an advanced technological society, I would expect them to send an unmanned probe first. So,
well, yeah, that makes sense. But if it's advanced, it could just be like Star Trek. Like they could just watch us from the bushes and we would never know, right?
Sure. Now, here's the question. Do we let them know that we're here?
That's the big one.
That's the big question.
That's the big one.
Or do we sit and hide in the dark forest? So,
I mean, that's true, but I don't know. I think that it's worth it to reach out, you know, because I mean, I don't know if humans would do any better if we found somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like from our past,
right.
We would just...
But that's the point. That's why we should hide, right? That was like the whole thing in Three Body Problem. Like that lady that worked for China or whatever was like, hey, I hate humans. Come mess us up. Like she sent a text like saying, my parents aren't home. Come over. Like that was it. And signed humanity, you know? And you know, that's how they got to that mess into the first place. So this is why I always push back on people who are like, oh, scientists would love to talk about aliens coming. Like, are you kidding me? That could be huge. Like that could have a lot of bad ramifications. If we let everybody know.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But yeah, and like I said, I could see both sides. But even say, I don't think it would matter because like if they would be able to find us regardless if they were capable, I guess, right, of traveling around. Like Kelly said, it would be a probe that would come by.
That's one thing that always bothers me about like sci-fi movies. When there's like some aliens that invade Earth, there's always some people that escape and live out in the forest, out in the wilderness somewhere. And then you watch Star Trek and they can pinpoint one of the crew members on the planet. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me that that anybody could just hide out in the forest, right, from an advanced technological alien.
Right.
I guess it makes a good movie, but it doesn't make any sense. It never made any sense to me. So,
yeah, I'm the same way with the aliens that I am with Jesus, right? Like, you know, God could text me if he wanted to. He could call me up. He could see what's up. I feel like the aliens could do the same thing if they really wanted to talk with us. And if they are, like, you know, they would be using presumably the laws of physics. And we are using objects that pick up stuff that also use the laws of physics. And that's not exclusive to just like NASA researchers. There's a lot of private organizations, like all kinds of stuff that would pick up on these kinds of signals and other kinds of things. Obviously, you know, some organizations have more specialized technology than others. But, you know, when we're talking about like satellites and telescopes and stuff, it's a lot more people than just governments that have that. So, you know, there's other people that could point to that. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Yeah, if aliens are coming, I would hate that the TikTokers are right. That's the biggest thing. I would rather them be wrong more than anything than to be proven wrong by sensationalist TikTokers. But
yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, guys, I could, if you got time, I could tell you my story about how somebody tried to tell me about the Nephilim, or I could give you my pet theory about the drones at the beginning of the year.
You just activated me like a Russian sleeper agent. Please tell me about the Nephilim. You know me, man. I fucking love the Nephilim. Please.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. No, it's mostly just like this. I met a guy. I was hitchhiking through one of the Carolinas a couple years ago, and I was just sitting on, this like little wall on the side of a sidewalk, and this guy comes over to me and starts preaching at me, kind of, because he can tell I'm, an unhoused traveler, and I was just like, to get him to go away, I was just like, yeah, man, sure, I'm saved, all this. And then he just cuts in with this, hey, man, did you know that there was a team of Navy SEALs that got attacked by a giant in Afghanistan? And they, like a couple of them died, and they all covered it up and stuff. And I just looked at him and I was like, bro, you mean to tell me a Navy SEAL couldn't pull off a headshot on a giant?
Nah, bro.
A squadron of them, right?
Like,
yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, it's a whole.
I was literally talking about this. Yeah. Have you heard of this story before, Lane? Because I was actually just talking about this 2 weeks ago on Atheist Experience. This is like one of my favorite conspiracy theories ever. And the idea is not only is that what happened, but that's one of the reasons why the U.S. invaded Afghanistan in the first place, or sorry, not invaded Iraq in the first place, was because they've actually found evidence of Nephilim, and like the MWDs or the WMDs was just like a cover up for that. So yeah, I love that idea that actually the U.S. government is hiding up giants, which is just really cool.
Dan, I've been to Afghanistan twice.
Yeah,
there was no giants.
Well, did you see Nephilim? Oh, well,
no,
that's because they're in Iraq.
No, there's just none. Like there was that's right. Yeah, because it's but the cave with the Navy SEALs is outside of Kandahar, Kabul. One of them.
Okay, it's probably her. I think the story I heard was from Iraq. They probably have told different versions of this somewhere in the Middle East. Americans aren't very good at geography when it comes to the Middle East.
I've heard of this Kandahar too.
Have you? Okay.
2004. Do y'all remember the camel spiders conspiracy?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember this. Yes.
Blew up a picture. Oh yeah. No, I mean camel spiders exist, but they're not 3 feet big.
Just like this giant marker.
Yeah, that giant marker that Kelly's got on his screen right now. That's so huge. That's crazy. The story with the giants was, it's like they have like these, I think it's Photoshop. I mean, obviously Photoshop, but I don't even think it was like a trick of the camera. I think it was just like literally just a guy next to some Photoshop bones. And that just like went around some early forums in the early aughts, which is just like the best way to start a rumor.
Like on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way back in the day, But anyways,
now we're making AI videos of these giants
with my pet theory.
Okay. Yeah, Kelly's saying now they're going to make AI videos about everything, which is true. Because now you can just fake that.
You haven't seen the AI videos of the giants building the pyramids?
No, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I have.
Giants building pyramids. You seen that, Kelly? You're on that shit? Okay.
I have. I sure have.
Oh, yeah.
Well, great. Maybe we need to do that. We need to start reacting to some AI dumb videos on here. That'd be pretty good.
That's what I was talking about in the beginning, about the pseudo history and the pseudoscience just being blown away by this AI. It's overwhelming. It really is. It's totally overwhelming. There's so much of it out there. I think Lane obviously has seen a lot of it as well as I have. And it's getting so prevalent and there's so few of us out there that are just stop saying, hey, look, this is like completely fake.
Yeah. We got to keep fighting the fight. And you know what? There's always going to be more people like us. There's more people out there like us than you got to give us credit for it, because the dumbest voices are often the loudest sometimes. Right. So,
So thanks for standing up to that guy, Lane. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Lane, thanks for that. You're doing your duty, sir.
Yeah. I appreciate it, y'all. But hey, had a great time on the call. I'll just have to call back. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll call back in with my pet conspiracy theory about the drones at the beginning of the year.
Yes, I would love that. Please do. Please, pretty please, because like 90% of the time we tell people to call back and they don't. I really want to hear about that. So tell me about it, okay?
Lane, give us a call back.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Lane. Have a great rest of your weekend.
And if it is an alien probe, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, remember like was it last year when we were talking about drones? Everybody was freaking out about the drones.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe it is drones. It's probably like a foreign government. Like, I don't know. I think that was my take at the time. I don't think it'd be aliens. That'd be kind of a weird thing if that's what they were doing. But I wonder what came of that. They talk about that anymore? I didn't follow up on that story.
Drones are kind of like a dead thing now.
Yeah.
I hope
it was just like some foreign country just kind of messing with us. That'd be funny.
I think a lot of them just turned out to be normal drones. Just
probably
people,
probably just people getting to the hype. That's another thing too. So like, again, like, we were talking about like what to trust and stuff. Like journalists get a bad rap, and a lot of people confuse like what journalism is with other kinds of like, I guess it's still journalism, but like, there's reporting from like a tech blog versus like CNN or MSNBC, where people like these institutions exist and like have connections to like report on things firsthand because they're the ones doing the interviews, or they're not like sometimes they'll take it from other sources that have already done the work, but like, like they have to, we have laws that exist to prevent libel and stuff for a reason. And when that works, it's great. Sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes, stuff gets mishandled, but I am always grateful for news people. I mean, I don't know. Some people always hate on it, but I'm glad we still have stuff like that, because if we didn't, who knows anymore.
Definitely changed a lot. I took a lot of journalism classes in college, and my journalism teacher, if he saw what passes for news today, I think he'd be turning over in his grave, honestly.
Yeah, we also just like have so many different sources to go to now that also kind of conflate things. I think that's a problem too.
That's a big help, though. But a lot of times you'll get the same. One of the things I noticed, because I wrote a scientific paper back in 2018, and it kind of became the subject became viral. And I noticed that one paper had written a lot of wrong things about the scientific paper we had written. And those wrong things just kept getting repeated over and over and over by other news outlets. It was almost as if nobody was doing any research. They were just taking this one outfit and using it almost verbatim in some cases, So, I mean, it's hard to know what to trust with journalism, especially with science, because most journalists aren't scientists, so they don't understand it.
That's also true. That's why it's, like science news is like, honestly, that's one of the last things I usually choose to read is science news. I don't know if I'm not saying that because I'm a Luddite. It's just because unless I'm reading the paper myself, which I will do very occasionally, but not often. Okay, let's be real. I know I'm not spending my time reading whole papers, but I'll at least, go through a little bit sometimes. Like I just don't trust it, because it's like, who knows what people are saying about this thing, and I don't know where this paper's from, who's writing it, what the methodology is, until I really get down to brass tacks, because that's what it is. Science is really hard work at the end of the day, getting this stuff figured out, but it's always going to be difficult. But hey, before we get to our next caller, I should mention the fact that we want to thank all the people that help make this show happen every single week. So we should give a quick shout out to the crew. I usually do that last, but you know what? I'm doing it first right now. So, hey, crew, what's happening? What's going on? What's this white man totally unique opinion? I like that background. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Shout outs to the crew who helped make stuff happen. And while I'm doing stuff backwards, I'll just keep going backwards. And hey, if you're in the Austin area, you should follow us on Meetup to keep up with the community events. You can do that at tiny.cc/ACA Meetup. And another way to support us is, of course, sending the super chats, which I mentioned earlier. And last but not least, you should join our weekly watch parties at the Free Thought Library on Sundays for live viewings of Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience every Sunday. Doors are open at 11, and it is completely free. So come check it out, as long as you find good parking. Sometimes that can be difficult, but you can just park around. There's places. It's still free. It's just not always close. But with that done, let's get to our next caller, Kelly. We have Castle Anthrax calling from Canada, that's a cool name, Castle Anthrax. I like that. What's going on, Castle Anthrax?
Yeah, it's the worst castle name ever. Ain't it?
I mean, if you're being affected by the Anthrax, I suppose, but like as a metal album, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it comes. Well, it's just, you can look it up. I use screen names for entertainment and education purposes. So,
well, I'm certainly entertained. I don't know how educated I am, but
well, you can look it up what it is. But no, I want to call in about. I hope you don't mind continue the alien discussion because that's what I've
okay.
I've been
Let's do it.
For the last couple of years. So
I'm all for it.
It just hit me what Castle Anthrax was.
I'm out of the loop now. I don't know what it is. What is it, Kelly?
That's actually one of my favorite segments from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, it's a Monty Python thing? Oh, okay.
It just hit me. Oh, yeah, duh.
Dang. Well, I missed out on that. Anyway, yeah, so tell me what you want to call about.
Well, a long time ago, or a while back anyways, I talked about Neil Armstrong and that kind of cryptic remark that he made at the 25th anniversary of the Apollo landing, when he said, there are ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available, places to go beyond belief, to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers. And I think we didn't, what's he talking about, right? Why is he making such a cryptic statement? And I think that the alien truth fits it best. And I think I know what those protective layers are.
Okay. What do you think they are?
I think they're denial, ridicule, disinformation, obfuscation, stigmatization. I think all of these provide a protective layer. I mean, right now, ufology is a shit show because it's just crazy. There's just so much craziness going on. At the same time, we seem to be on the verge of something coming out with all these government hearings and stuff. There's one scheduled in a couple of weeks. And there's been all this, all this revelation of the ATIP and Arrow. Do you know what those are?
Yeah, I know a little bit about that.
Education program and the all domain anomaly resolution office and all this stuff. And this guy, Luis Elizondo, I don't know if you ever heard about these guys.
I know about those concepts a little bit, but I don't know that those names sound familiar. I think we talked about those guys before. I think we have.
Yeah, well, they're part of this whole thing that started in 2016 with that New York Times article about that, the government has these organizations looking into anomalies, right? They're just hinting that they're calling, now they're using the term non-human intelligence. And there's all this hinting and stuff, but nothing solid, right? And then this guy, Lou Elizondo, he shows a picture to an audience. It happened 2 times now. He's in front of an audience and he shows his picture. He says it's a UFO mothership. And then it turns out it's a fucking reflection on a window. And a month later, he shows another picture of a UFO in a field, of a flying saucer in a field, and it turns out to be some irrigation reservoir. So it's just like, what the fuck is going on with these guys? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also all the videos that the military is releasing, the Go Fast and the Tic-Tac and the gimbal video. It's like people seem to be solving these things, some of them anyways, saying they're very prosaic, down-to-earth things. It's just the jet flying fast and the object is still. You know what I mean? And
right.
all those weird things going on. Why the fuck are they doing all this shit? Like they're just coming out with stuff that seems to be easily debunked, except for the Tic-Tac video. And now they're saying, there's a journalist, Ross Coulter, who a couple months ago said that the Tic-Tac video is in fact Lockheed Martin technology, the famous company responsible for the Skunk Works facility. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen in the near future, that they're going to announce that Lockheed Martin, that's their technology, that Tic-Tac. And it's some new, what they're saying it's some new advanced transmedium vehicle using directed gravity manipulation. That's what I've read about it anyways. And I think they're going to come out and say that that's what that is. And then they're going to say all these UFOs, it's us or something like that.
Directive gravity manipulation.
That sounds awesome. Sounds cool.
That does sound cool.
Advanced transmedium vehicle.
It sounds like you're riding a transformer or something. I mean, I don't know. Like, so you bring up a couple different ideas here that I'm interested in picking apart and talking about these different ones. But this idea that like, oh, there's people that are in this space because they're perfectly bad actors for disinformation. That could be it, or there could just be grifters. I mean, there are grifters not just in UFO spaces, but also in science, also in technology, also in business, also in like all sorts of fields, right? Like there's YouTubers all the time that have drama and like try to get their niche and stuff. There's a lot of activists I know and have met in the past that I think like being in the spotlight and like drama and like all kinds of stuff. So like, you know, people are bad actors for all kinds of reasons. I don't know that there has to be an organized effort for that to happen, right? Because like it's not just the UFO space that has these people that, you know, make money in these very niche topics. It's also the fake history folks. It's also the conspiracy folks for like every other freaking conspiracy out there. Right. So like I'm sympathetic to this idea that like, oh, people look bad in this space and therefore it has to be something greater. Like, I don't know, that to me, it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be explained by, oh, well, people are taking advantage of this market opportunity. It's really what it is, whether consciously or unconsciously. Right. But I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts there. Also, that thing with like Neil Armstrong, I just looked up that quote and I saw that he gave it to like a graduating class in like 98 or whatever. And it's like, I have a hard time believing that that's like them trying to allude to this graduating class that, you know, that the truth is really out there. Maybe he was just trying to inspire people. I don't know. It seems a little vague to draw any other conclusions from there, but I don't know. There's my thoughts so far.
No, I agree. But I just think that it was also the 25th anniversary of the Apollo landing. So it was an important event. And he seemed quite emotional when he was on stage. I mean, he wasn't a great public speaker anyways. He was a kind of a reclusive guy anyways.
Yeah.
Great guy, by the way. I think he's a true American hero. So I don't want to sound like I'm putting him down in any way. I think what he did was amazing when he landed the Eagle on the moon. I think if anyone else had tried to do it, I think they would have crashed. But I think he took control of it and steered it away from going into a crater, from what I understand.
I wouldn't have done it.
No,
I wouldn't have done it. But I also want to take into account that some of these people are actually just really wishful believers. You know, they really want to believe that there's aliens. So they see this picture of a water tank in the middle of a field. And to them, that's proof. That's it. I can't believe I'm looking at a real photo of a real UFO. Right. We have a caller that calls us every once in a while who, I mean, every time he sees a photo, he thinks it's a real photo, pretty much, it seems like. So, I mean, there are people out there that are who are just so want to believe it that they're willing to accept any evidence. And Lou might be one of those people, Lou Alessandro.
Right. Well, this want to believe thing, I think we've argued about this before. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. That was like a meme in ufology, right? It's a poster. There's a famous poster of a UFO, and then with the heading, "I want to believe." And I've always really hated that because I don't think it's a matter of wanting to. Like, I mean, it is for some people. I agree, but for me, it's definitely not. I want the truth. I want to believe in the truth. And that's the battle I think I'm having with you guys, is because I think if you say that people want to believe, I think there's people who don't want to believe. And no matter what evidence, unless it's rock solid, like the president announcing it or aliens landing on the White House lawn. I think there's also people who just don't want to believe it. Like Dan.
I'm out on it right now. I'm still waiting to see evidence one way or the other. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen concrete evidence one way or the other.
Yeah.
So
this is a thing too, where like, you know, with aliens, that will eventually become so self-evident, like you would be crazy to deny it, right? Like at some point,
right.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like, what if I said that like cell phone towers aren't real or something, or like cell phone technology isn't real? I would be a lunatic because so many people have cell phones. You can demonstrate that. It's just, it's so aware in the public consciousness. And like aliens should be that kind of event. Like it should eventually not become just something from a secret society of people knowing to like something that becomes so inarguable, like you would be foolish not to, like, because you know, it's an entire civilization of beings, like that it should become more evident than whatever we have now for it. So I think it's always going to be this I want to believe sort of mentality with a lot of people, because you kind of have to, for a lot of people, you have to want it in order to accept the evidence that's there, at least from my perspective.
Well, I mentioned before to you the UFO researcher Jacques Vallée, who's been around forever in ufology. He goes way back to, the Close Encounters movie and J. Allen Hynek, people like that, right? And Vallée's always been very interesting views on it. And he way back in the 70s, he kind of rejected the alien theory about UFOs. And he just thought it didn't make sense the way they were acting and stuff like that. And he believes it's more, he wrote a book called Messengers of Deception in the 1970s. And he believes that there's some secret group that are putting out a control system shaping mankind's consciousness throughout history. That's what he believes. And it's very fascinating.
Cool.
Too.
But why should I believe it? Why should anybody believe that?
That it's a secret group?
Yeah.
Didn't Philip K. Dick have that same kind of idea?
Yeah, it's a nice idea, but like, it just sounds like it's a fun idea. I don't know why I should believe that one way or the other.
Well, that was just his theory. I don't. You'd have to read the book. Maybe the book would convince you if you read his whole thing. But I just think it's a fascinating theory that he kind of rejected the alien hypothesis and thinks it's more.
Philip K. Dick thought there was an alien satellite that was orbiting the Earth that was sending telepathic messages to certain people to control society, so that those people would have the people who are getting telepathic messages would direct society. Right. He actually thought he was one of them.
I know. I think he did large amounts of LSD and other drugs like that.
I'm not sure that he did that.
Philip K. Dick? Oh, come on, Kelly. He has to have, right? Everybody in that time was, Well,
look it up.
I bet he did. Without me knowing for sure, I'm willing to bet that that's true. But look, we're talking about, again, like another really nice, cool idea. This is another great idea, and this is a common theme in our talks, is that this idea is cool, it's nice. I just don't know why I should believe it. And I keep going back to that. I mean, you're telling me, I should read this book to get some information about it, but you should be able to tell me why I should be able to believe it, right? Like if I'm talking to somebody about climate change, because a lot of people don't believe in climate change, I should be able to cite, so if I'm confident enough in me arguing about it, I should be able to cite sources. I should be able to cite not just concepts, but evidence of these concepts and how we understand these concepts, and with the ufology stuff, it always comes from, well, here's an idea for some civilization, or here's a thing that happened in Roswell. Maybe this is what happened with it. Or here's some people that make some comments and maybe that could be tied to some group. I don't know. It's always tenuous. It's not really conclusive in any one way or another. And it feels like it's always going to have to be that way if we're talking about something that ultimately isn't true, right?
Well, yeah, or ultimately it is true, and it's alien, and like I said, there's reasons to keep it secret. Like I pointed to you that Brookings Institute study about about when we started the space program, and they look at the implications of our first steps into space. And one of the questions that came up in their study, it's called the Proposed Studies on the Implications of Peaceful Space Activities for Human Affairs. And that's the thing. I mentioned this before. They said there's one line in it where they say, societies sure of themselves in their own place in the universe have disintegrated when confronted by a superior society. So that, it's a serious thought that if mixing with an advanced society, what that would do to our civilization. If we found an ancient tribe in some jungle region in the earth, who were Stone Age, who were haven't changed in 3,000 years, we wouldn't go in there and start handing them out iPhones and whatever. You know what I mean?
We just go down and we just cut down their forests.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you know what I mean. You'd want to leave them alone. You like those cannibals that that killed that Christian guy trying to
on the Andaman Islands.
Yeah, but the thing about those islands is those people know that there's other outside civilizations. They just don't care, right? Because obviously they know there are people that are coming to them. We don't even have that. I talked about this earlier. Governments around the world have access to advanced technology. So do private organizations. When it comes to radio telescopes and stuff, that's not exclusive to government agencies. It's a lot of universities. It's a lot of private entities that have these things for different reasons. So I don't know. It wouldn't just be the interest of one group of people. It would be the interest of lots of different people to not only let people know about it, but to at least document it in some way. And we just never get conclusive evidence of that. We never get any conclusive. I've never seen anything that has ever shown to me that any institution on Earth has been harboring or working towards tasks that involve intelligent, life outside of Earth. Right. And that to me is, kind of strange. It seems like the ones that are active and out and proud about it, that do those kinds of things, they always have the least to show for it, so makes you wonder.
Well, yeah. Well, supposedly this is going to be coming out soon, but I don't know. They keep talking about that, right? You're right.
Yeah, they keep telling us though. The next hearing is going to have all the evidence. Right. The next hearing is going to have the next evidence, all the evidence.
Yeah.
And we keep not getting it. So I'm not going to count on it happening this time. I'm just really not. I would love to see it. Believe me, I would love to see proof of aliens. I really, really would. And I think I know there's a lot of people who feel like maybe the aliens are already here and controlling the narrative, but I can't see that happening either. It's because there'd have to be a lot of humans that were in on it, unless we have something going on like They Live, the old Rowdy Piper movie, which I love that movie. But without something like that happening, there's got to be a ton, thousands of humans involved. And I always say I can't get 10 people to keep a surprise birthday party a secret, let alone a big conspiracy like that. So I don't know how they could be controlling the narrative either. I just don't see it.
Or at least have some consistency, because there are people that come out every once in a while that are like, oh yeah, I used to work at Area 51, but the stories never line up with any of these guys. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, the other week, someone called in about Mars, and they talked about that. Remember about a nuclear war on Mars or something like that?
Yep.
You remember?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that to tell you the truth, that has been something that the anomaly people have been thinking about for quite a long time, for like the last decade, because it looks like to many of us, Mars looks like it was like a destroyed civilization. It just has that look.
Where do you see that in Mars?
Look, Kelly, it does kind of look like that. It has that vibe. If this were in the future and I was making a movie and we had access to Mars, to like and I had to make a movie about a nuclear wasteland, I'd film it on Mars. You know?
Yeah, but you'd expect to see some kind of ruin somewhere, something.
Well,
you know,
maybe.
and
Well, it depends on how long ago it was, and what the structures are, right?
I suppose.
Well, I think
yeah.
But you got to remember too that Mars doesn't have an atmosphere, so things don't deteriorate the way they would here.
Right. And why don't they have an atmosphere, Kelly? It's because they nuked it out of existence.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, there is a lot of scientific pushback on the nuclear war on Mars theory. So there's only like one guy who believes that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not popular.
And I actually looked into it quite a bit, and the area shows a lot of volcanic activity. One of the things we do know about pegmatites, which is a rock that forms when lava cools at a slow rate. They often have large amounts of radioactives in them. So, I mean, it would be, and we know that this area of Mars shows a lot of volcanic activity. So to me, it seems like having a lot of radioactives in that area would be just as normal as some places here on the Earth having the same amount of radioactivity. I don't see it. And I'm speaking as a geologist on that point. I just don't see it. I don't see a higher concentration of uranium there than you would see here on Earth anywhere.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to say that I believe that. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
There was something. It looks like some calamity happened. Maybe it was a volcanic calamity or something like that. I just think my understanding is that Mars used to be a like Earth-like planet, and I think.
I don't know if we can say it was Earth-like, but we're pretty sure it had water on it at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because, I know we argued about the face on Mars, and one of the things that I want to get straight about the face on Mars is that when we were talking about it last time, I think we were talking past each other because I think you were reading Wikipedia. Am I correct, Dan?
Talking to me? I don't think so.
Yeah. Like, because we were talking about it, and I mentioned the science guys who went to look for a second picture. Like, Wikipedia leaves out the fact that when it happened in 1976, when the picture came out, NASA right away said it's just pareidolia. It's not a face. It's just shadows and light. And then they actually announced that they had a second picture that shows that there's nothing there. And that's all.
Yeah. We talked about this, and then for some reason they didn't release that picture, but the other pictures got released over time
because there was no picture. No, there was no picture. There was no. They were lying. They were lying because it was the two scientists. I forget the names again. I got it in the book. See, I have a book from 1991 about it, and Vincent.
No, it's got to be true.
And Gregory Molinar. And these guys went and looked in the files, and they found it misfiled, but they found a face. They found a second face. So NASA totally lied about it. So that's all the point I really want to make is that NASA. I have every reason not to trust NASA.
Yeah. Well, no. See, okay. Now I'm going to Wikipedia, and I'm saying that they did say a second image also shows the face, and the latter discovery was made by NASA on it. So it looks like they're saying that they did release a picture here. So I don't know.
No.
I'm not seeing anything about what you're saying. But look, it doesn't matter. We're really getting a conversation that we already had previously. The point is other more people than just NASA have looked at that, right? It's not just a thing coming from NASA. There's other people that have looked at that specific spot and have done work with that. So I don't even know what the point is. I think it's just a pretty obvious fact that it's just an optical illusion at this point, unless you're seriously arguing that it's not, and that it's been a cover of this entire time, and it absolutely is a remnant of some civilization.
Yes, I am. Yeah, for sure.
So you think it's a big geoglyph?
But the mesa around the head is perfect. It makes a perfect head shape, and it makes a perfect head piece that the like in the Egyptian pharaoh, what's the thing in front of the pyramid, the Sphinx. It's got that headpiece, and that the face of Mars also has the perfect headpiece. But I want you to think about one other thing about that, though. Just one, make this point.
Okay, last thing here, then we got to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay, in stadiums when they have people in certain areas, they give them cards. They give them these big pieces of cardboard, and they hold it up. And when you look from a distance, it makes a face, right? Or a picture of something, right? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
They give it. But you only have to see it you have to take an aerial shot to see it. If you're close up to it, you don't see anything. It's just a bunch of squares. So my point is maybe that's exactly what it was. It was just to make a face, like not pareidolia, but under certain conditions, a face maybe that was created that way.
Like the images at Nazca.
What?
Like the images at Nazca.
Like
Peru.
the Nazca lines. Like it's supposed to be seen from above.
I wasn't thinking the lines themselves, but some of the human figures or the animal figures. I mean, there's over 200 figures that they found, just many in the last few years using satellite technology.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because if you go down on the ground and look at it up close, it doesn't look like an animal, of course, but you can only see it from the sky. So I think maybe it was done that way on purpose.
Okay. Anyway. Well, I guess that's cool. I guess like it's just weird that they kept making. So I guess the first one they released, that one was legit. But every other image they've released about this thing since then is a fake, because it's convenient for a cover up, I guess.
What do you think the purpose would have been?
Well, wait, no. He says he doesn't think that. I want to clarify. That's not what you think?
No, I'm saying that this new picture, the one with the better quality picture, whatever, that supposedly debunks it. I'm just saying maybe that it was constructed that way for a distance. When you look at it at a distance, it creates a face. But when you see it clearly up close, it's not a face. It has to be seen from a distance.
I'm looking at this one captured by the Mars Global Surveyor in 2001. It doesn't even look like it's constructed. It just looks like it's just a mountain. Like it just looks like it's a formation. I don't even know why I should believe that it's constructed in the first place with this,
Well, and the mesa around it is a perfect U shape.
I don't know. Okay, listen, we gotta get going. But listen, Castle Anthrax, it's like, we talk about different ideas. I love talking about these different ideas with you, but we can't just rest our hat on, hey, maybe it's this or whatever. Like we have to look at what the evidence gives to us here. And I just don't see this adding up to really anything. These are very disparate things that we've talked about today. We talked about secret societies. We talked about faces on Mars. We talked about ufologists, secretly being funded by the government to make people look bad. Like, these are all kind of different ideas, different narratives, and we can't just conclusively come to anything just by these disparate pieces. We have to build something cohesive in order for me to really understand, anything at this point, because either NASA's covering something up, or maybe they're not covering something up, but it's actually an ancient civilization and it's supposed to look like that. But also maybe aliens are here today as well, and it's not just ancient. Like I don't know what to think sometimes after conversations, because we kind of go all over the place. So maybe next time we can talk about building a cohesive narrative. But for now, that's really all the time I got for you today. So I am going to let you go. I do appreciate you calling in, and I hope to hear from you at a different time. Thanks so much, and have a great weekend. So there you go, Kelly. More calls about aliens. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah.
You're down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for another call about aliens. Can I do one thing real quick though? I just wanted to say hi to Jamie, who's a first-time watcher tonight. Promised me that they'd tune in for the first time ever. So I wanted to say hi to her.
Heck yeah. Give them the shout out. I don't know what they think of this program after
I don't know what
some of the calls that we go through, but I just I like the cool ideas. I like the cool, sort of what ifs, but I don't know. It has to be more than just a what if, right? We got to work towards something.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta take into account things that could be, I suppose, but I still don't think we should jump to any conclusions. And I think we might have I think in that last call there might have been some conclusion jumping.
Yeah. Again, I just really think that like aliens are going to be this thing where it's not going to be a secret thing. Like, I don't know, there's going to be enough things out there for people to point to and say, yeah, that's a thing.
I think when it happens, we're all going to know. Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just my idea. Talking about ideas. Let's get to our next caller. We have another Canadian. We have John from Canada who wants to talk to us about aliens, actually, this time. John, welcome back to the show.
Dan and Kelley, how are you?
Good. How are you, John?
I'm good. I heard you talking about aliens, and that got me interested. I just wanted to let you know that I'm open to the idea that aliens might exist, that we're not the only intelligent life in the universe.
Yeah. I think we should be open to that idea. I mean, I think Carl Sagan, I think, really opened that idea up to the public, to most people, that it was almost certain that they were out there somewhere, right? If they were close enough to and advanced enough to contact us is another story, but it's almost certain that they're out there somewhere. So what do you think of that idea, John, about the certainty?
What you used?
But Carl Sagan said it was almost certain that they were aliens out there somewhere in the universe. What do you think of that idea? That they're like certainly there somewhere, but we might not ever contact them ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if they're certain. I'm not certain. I can't say that they're certain they're out there. I'm just saying it's possible, because the chances of abiogenesis happening on multiple planets is rare. Heck, the fact that it happened on this planet was already a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances that it happened all over the place.
No, I don't think it happens all over, but I think,
let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree to that. That's agreeable. I don't think it happens all over the place. I think that when we think of the infinity of the universe and all the possibility of all the millions and billions of planets that are out there, that I think there's a pretty good chance that there is aliens somewhere, at least some kind of alien life. Maybe not intelligent aliens, but there's definitely alien life out there somewhere. So I mean, we might even find alien life right here in our own solar system. Io looks like it might be a good chance for having life in the water underneath the frozen surface, and we just don't know yet.
Yeah.
And it might be a type of life that we don't have any clue what it'd be like. It's something that's totally foreign and quite alien to us, frankly.
Ooh, there he goes. Yeah. That's interesting, John, that you're open to that, because like, I guess I was open to it as a Christian, but like technically within the bounds of Christianity, aliens kind of can't be a thing or really aren't a thing. Like, a lot of classical theologians talk so much about how humans are so special because we're so different from the other animals, that were made in God's image and stuff. And I imagine like other intelligent beings that have the ability to like build spacecraft and like, I don't know, do tons of stuff also have to be like intelligent in some way. So kind of messes with the whole Christianity angle, although some Christians may disagree with that. But since maybe you don't identify as a Christian anymore, that doesn't get in your way, huh?
Well, I'm going to say this, that a lot of Christians believe that aliens are actually angels and demons coming to visit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that.
Which is awesome. Love that idea. This is a great thing about Christianity, is that it just kind of takes everything and just ties it back into Christianity. I was talking to a Christian about this the other day, because you hear this a lot of time from Christians who say like, oh, well, everybody has a belief in the transcendent. So, we're all kind of, most societies have that kind of belief. And it's like, okay, but you and like the folks in Asia or the folks, the Aborigines, are not talking about the same thing. Like, I don't think you get to like loop yourself in there and just say, oh, they all have secretly a relationship with God. but then simultaneously, like they're all going to hell at the same time. Like it kind of doesn't make sense. Christianity loves to take other people's ideas and sort of incorporate it into their own sort of hierarchy of ideas, if you will, sort of systems. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. I think you're right, John. Aliens could, and now as we were talking too, that AI could be demons as well. I wonder if there's people that think that AI could be angels. Maybe.
That wouldn't surprise me. However, as far as contacting aliens go, the late great what's his name? Stephen Hawking. He said that contacting aliens would be a mistake because it would be the equivalent of when Christopher Columbus landed in America, and it didn't turn out well for the Native Americans.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to be the Taino to Columbus. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe we might be hiding. We want to hide in the dark forest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard the dark forest theory, but that's that maybe we don't want it. We don't. But here's the thing, though. We've already sent Voyagers out. Maybe if this 3-1 Delta or I can't remember the name of it, but the possible comet or alien probe that's coming in is a result of us sending out one of the Voyagers. You never know. I think you're right. I think we might want to not show ourselves, at least not at this point, because we're not advanced enough to deal with something like that. But how do you hide from somebody that's that highly advanced? If they can send a probe that's going 137 million miles an hour or a minute or however fast that thing is going, how can we hide from something like from?
Here's how we do it, Kelly. We go underground. Okay, we start building underground civilizations where they can't detect us with their beams and their radio waves. That's it.
There you go. We'll just have little things like in Fallout, little.
Go ahead, John.
Well, maybe we'll bring humanity together in a way that's never happened before. Because think about it: if there's an alien invasion going on, any arguments or disputes that we have will go out the window because we'll all join together to fight against one common threat, like an Independence Day.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's literally the plot of Independence Day. And I mean, maybe we can't even get together on like climate change, right? Like, I don't know, maybe the aliens are a bit more of an immediate threat. So maybe that would do something to us, but I would like to think so, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, if anything, we got to come together against the AI right now. That's what I'm thinking. There's going to be a rise of the clankers. And we have to do something about it. But, more worried about that than aliens right now.
I wanted to ask you guys this question. Dan, you're probably too young to remember this, but Kelly, do you remember a show called V from the 1980s about alien invasion?
No, I don't remember that one. I remember one from the 70s called Quark that I really liked. It was about a space garbage ship. It was a comedy.
Well,
do you remember that one?
Guys.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Tell me what you wanted to tell me about the show.
Check this out. It started as a miniseries on NBC in 1983. It was about a TV show about these aliens. They come to Earth, and the aliens are disguised as humans, and they basically offer friendship and become friends with the humans, but then they find out that they're deceiving them, and that they're actually here to steal the water. And
I do remember that now.
Reptiles.
Yeah, right. I do remember that. I'm about to say they ended up being like lizard people, didn't they? Yeah, I remember V.
It always comes back to lizard people.
Yes, exactly. And the best part was that it was a real world analogy because they were channeling World War II. That's how they're doing fascism, and they took over the media, the military, the police were on the alien side, and anyone who resisted was being rounded up and put into camps. And anyone who spoke out was considered a traitor. Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
totally
God, John.
sounds familiar.
Was rounded up and
Yeah, I think that came from that happening though throughout history, isn't it? Something that we have done to ourselves throughout
That's
history.
also like kind of the plot of Half-Life 2. So that's my more current day analogy. Although I guess Half-Life 2 is now like 15 years old now, or 20. No, it's 20 years old now. Oh my gosh. Wow.
You're an old man now, Dan.
When's Half-Life 3 coming out? I don't know. Will it ever come out? Maybe. I guess we'll see. But anyway, John, we got to start wrapping things up here. Is there anything else you wanted to let us know about before we let you go?
no, that's all I wanted to say. Have a good evening.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling in, John. I always appreciate talking to you, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, John. I appreciate it. So that's cool. John's open to aliens, you know. Now we just got to have him being open to wokeness, I think, is the next step. Yeah.
We'll get there.
But on that note, very alien heavy show of Truth Wanted today, which is fine.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you like the alien stuff. You're into it, you know.
Oh, totally.
So yeah, it's good. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, again, we can talk about the ideas, we can talk about what's out there, but unless we can really look at some stuff together, it does become hard to talk about and hard to have new things to say on the subject, other than hold my judgment till I can really account for it, right?
That's what I'm doing. I'm holding my judgment. I really think that when the aliens come, I really think we're all going to know about it. So. Yeah,
I think so too. We have a couple more super chats that I need to read. One was from Free Jemmy, who gave $5 and said Neil deGrasse Tyson did an interesting piece recently on the new phenomenon he's calling Alien of the Gaps. That's interesting.
I saw that. It's actually really good.
You read that? Okay, it was a good article. All right, okay. So that's something to check out. And then we have another one, $10 from Daisy Dex. Thank you so much for that. It said, did anyone give evidence for God when I was napping? If your nap was the length of this show or what you missed, then no evidence has been given really for anything. So yeah, you haven't missed that, but thank you all for donating. Once again, I need to give a special thanks to the awesome crew that help make this show happen every single week. They are super great for doing that. And thank you so much also to Kelley for being here on the show with me and co-hosting.
Always happy to be here.
I also need to give a thanks to Scott, who was our backup host for today, and maybe we can get Scott back on. There he is. Scott.
Hey, all right. You know, you guys always have such interesting conversations on the show. It's really cool to listen to.
I'm glad you're interested. I get tired of hearing my voice. You know, I was watching
but I do like that you always bring it back to why should I believe it? I wrote that down when you said it, Dan. Why should I believe it? So I like that you entertain the stories, and that you listen. But then you also, you insert that skepticism in there as well. So I think that's
Scott,
a good.
Why should I believe that you wrote these ideas down?
You shouldn't believe that.
Oh my God! I'll tell you this one time. I didn't. One of the worst times my wife has ever hurt me in an argument. This is true. We had an argument one time and she was like, it sounds like you're talking to me like I'm on your show right now. And I was like,
ooh, all right. You're on thin ice there.
I got to rethink some things. But yeah, anyway, appreciate that, Scott. So with you on the show right now, please tell us, what is the question this week so people can respond?
Yeah, the question this week is complete this sentence. Everyone knows vampires don't appear in mirrors, but few people know that they also don't blank.
All right. So there you go. That's the challenge, question, prompt, whatever. Leave your comment below. We'll read the top 3 for next week. And Scott, thank you for dressing up as well, for looking down for today.
I'll show up occasionally when it's required.
Well, thank you for being on here today, and thanks again, Callie. Thanks again, crew, and thank you to everybody for watching this show. You know what, Scott? I'm going to ask you, since you're our backup today. Any words of wisdom? Any words of wisdom as we close out?
You know, I had a suspicion that you might ask me that, so I got some words of wisdom here, and I wrote them down. So it's: don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason ever, no matter what, no matter where or who you're with or where you're going or where you've been ever, for any reason whatsoever.
I'm sorry, did I have a stroke in the middle of that, or was the connection bad or something? Because I don't think I actually heard a coherent sort of objective there.
It's a way homer. It's a way homer. Yeah, okay. It'll click on you at some point.
This must be a northerner thing. I don't know. That's like not something I can relate to there. But hey, do Scott's thing. And remember to always keep wanting the truth. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Watch the non-profits and join the hosts in the live chat. Visit tiny.cc/ytnp.